Alright ladies, so be honest with me. How many videos about red flags have you watched? And yet, every time that you're dealing with a man, you're always asking yourself, is that a red flag? Is he using me? Am I overthinking it? It's very confusing, I know. And no matter how much content you've consumed, you're still stuck in doubt. So today, I have something really special for you, okay? I made a whole presentation breaking down the 10 red flags that I see over and over again with every single woman that I coach. Now, this is information that you don't get anywhere else, I promise you, because I don't only break down these red flags, I also try to teach you what a red flag is, right? Because when you don't understand that concept, everything can look like a red flag. So if you're fully in it, okay, you're completely present and committed to learning, then enjoy this presentation that I made for you.
All right, so top red flags to watch for in men. And why is it important to identify red flags? First thing, to avoid time wasters. Also, to save a relationship if both partners work in them. Like a lot of the times when you identify your red flags, maybe like I was saying, you're self-aware of some of the stuff that you're doing, or you become aware of something that your partner is doing. If you're willing, both of you, to work on it, you can actually have a healthy relationship and save the relationship. And the final thing is also to find in the right person for you, right? Like if you know the red flags, you can also know the green flags and start looking for those in the men that you meet. Now, what is a red flag? If you go online right now on Instagram or on YouTube, you will find 1,000 videos telling you a billion different things. So I wanted to simplify this for you ladies. I like this definition that says a warning sign that indicates potential issues, unhealthy dynamics, or behaviors that may lead to emotional harm or instability. Now, notice the word potential, okay? Unhealthy and that may lead, right? There's the possibility that this may become a potential issue, right? I also like to divide them into universal and personal red flags, right? There's universal red flags that everybody can kind of relate to, people from different cultures, like abuse, lying, cheating, manipulation. But a lot of the times, the more nuanced ones are personal. Some red flags that are subjective depending on your beliefs and your values. So that would be inconsistency. What do you consider inconsistent behavior for you? Maybe you're okay with texting every 2 days, disrespecting your boundaries. What are your boundaries, your personal boundaries? And if you have different views and commitments, right? And I just put this 3 here. There's obviously a long list, but I want you to have that in mind that some of the red flags that you've noticed in other people are subjective to you. It doesn't mean that they're universal. Okay, so now let's go through a list. So the first one I want to talk about is pulling away, hot and cold, and breadcrumbing. What you need to understand about this is this is the nature of an extractor. An extractor is somebody who always wants to take from you more than what they give. Think about it like they see you as a phone charger and they're their phone, let's say. So they come to you when they want to recharge their battery, right? And this could be through validation. This could be through intimacy, right? So every time that they reach out, when they're being hot, when they give you the attention and everything that you want, is because they're extracting something from you. Now, a lot of the times you will have the question, okay, Ismael, so how can I make them stay? How can I make them want more from me? And I always suggest that you shift your mindset to how can I protect my energy? Because a lot of the times an extractor is very difficult to change their dynamic. Okay, second red flag, which is mirroring and is what I call the perfect match illusion. So when you start dating someone, and men do this a lot, I did it when I was a teenager too, when I was trying to get laid for the first time, they start kind of like matching your energy and pretending to like everything that you like. So if you say, oh, I like rock music. Oh, me too. I like baseball. Oh my God, baseball is my favorite sport, right? They never try to contradict you on anything. Like they never do those things, especially at the beginning, and one way that it's good for you to kind of see who they truly are at the beginning, because it feels like they're always wearing a mask, is try to see how they behave around their family and friends, because they might be able to lie to you, as you're getting to know them, but when they're with their friends and family, they can't pretend. So always pay attention to that, because with this, what they try to do is to lower your guard so you can feel more vulnerable, and then they slowly try to steer the relationship where they want it to go. The third one is gaslighting, playing the victim. I know that probably all of you have gone through this, and it's when somebody shifts the blame and they make you feel guilty for something that might be even a boundary that you have, right? Like somebody's trying to break up with you. This is a major sign of an immature man. He wants to break up with you. He wants to end the relationship, but he doesn't want to feel guilty about it. He doesn't want to be the bad guy. So what he does is going to shift the blame and tell you let's say that you liked a friend's picture. and it's a guy friend, and he's like, "Oh, I knew that you were cheating on me with that guy. Look, you like this picture. I'm breaking up with you." And now you feel guilty. You feel confused. Like, what? Like, this guy's my friend. He knew about this, right? So they try to do all these things to shift the blame. And again, a lot of the times you have to know, going back, what are your values and beliefs? This is what I always tell everybody, when I'm teaching. Like, if you don't know what your boundaries are, people are just going to be walking over you. They're going to break them every now and then because you don't know what you believe in. When I was like 25, for example, one of my exes, a guy was flirting with her and she replied, LOL. Like, she was laughing at his joke. And at that moment, I was 25, so I was very young, and I thought it was disrespectful, but I kind of let it slide. When now I'm like, I never let that slide. If you're laughing at somebody flirting with you, that's just a behavior that I don't tolerate because I don't do it myself. Number 4, isolation. A lot of guys would isolate you from your friends and family so they can pretty much control you. And this is one of the sneakiest ones because it happens very subtle, because a lot of times, let's say you come to your partner venting about your friends or your family, something that's happening, and then you will see comments of like, "Oh yeah, that friend sucks. You should never speak to her again." Or your family is always trying to control you. Don't listen to them. And slowly what's going to happen is he's going to put you in a bubble where you need his guidance all the time, and you feel like he's the only person that you can rely on. This actually happens sometimes even unconsciously. Like, he's trying to control you without him even knowing that he's trying to control you. So always make sure that you have other people supporting you. Number 5, he's too busy. This is typical excuse, right? And you notice that he's busy when he needs to give, but not when he needs to extract, right? And I promise you, like, this is one that a lot of you ladies debate me on. Like, "Oh no, Ismael, but you don't understand. He's going through this and he's going through that and he's doing this job and like, da, da." Like, I promise you, most of the men that you meet are not busier than me, all right? Like, and I still make time for my partner. Like, I was like making plans before Valentine's, getting her a gift. I always make time because she's a priority. So whatever excuse they use when they disappear for 3 days and they were too busy, they didn't even send a text. Like, everybody's looking at their phones all the time. Why does it take 48 hours for somebody to reply to a message? Okay, so they're too busy as you're not a priority. As simple as that. Number 6, free therapy. He calls you at 11 p.m. He's telling you about his day, like everything that's going on in his life. And a lot of the times, if you pay close attention, it's actually him venting, dumping his emotional baggage on you. Talking is not always caring, right? Like, attentive listening requires more effort. To listen to you, what you're going through, and then to remember it the next day or 2 days later and like do something about it, try to help you, right? So don't confuse a guy coming to you, especially in the nighttime, or like just calling you randomly and telling you something that happened at work, right? Don't confuse that talk with caring, because a lot of the times, again, it's just extracting. It's just dumping stuff on you. Number 7, high value man, low value partner. Just because a guy has achieved immense success in his career or personal life doesn't automatically make him a great partner. Because you might see, I'm in this real estate group that you would consider all those guys in there are like the 1% high value men. But I can tell you, some of those guys will be the worst guys that you can date. Even when you see somebody's resume, that they have all the stuff together and they're very presentable, doesn't mean that they're going to be a good partner, right? Like, consistency, making you a priority, building a partnership with someone is a complete different dynamic. So always keep that in mind. Love bombing. So love bombing happens when they're rushing, when they're chasing, when they're showering you with excessive love and attention from the first date. And I always give the analogy of a movie versus the trailer, right? If a guy on the 3rd date is telling you, "I think you're the most amazing woman I ever met. I think I want to have children with you. I think I want to marry you." You have to understand that he doesn't even know you. He doesn't even know you. He's only seen the trailer of a movie. Like, he hasn't sat down and watched the whole movie. He hasn't woken up next to you with bad breath. Like, he doesn't want to, he hasn't seen you angry. He hasn't seen you sad, right? So you have to be very careful, because it is very tempting and it feels very nice for your ego when a man on the 3rd date is telling you that he will go to war for you, that you're the best thing that's ever happened to him. So always pay attention to that. It's not fireworks, it's a fireplace. Slow burn. Okay, I promise you, those are the best relationships. Number 9, we only got 2 more, this and number 10. The superiority complex. This is basically when a man thinks that he's superior than you. You know, he lacks accountability. He doesn't want to be responsible for things because he feels that he's always right. When you see that a man really comes to you and say, listen, I messed up, without you even confronting him, he just comes to you and say, you know, you were right about this, I messed up. That is a major sign of maturity. When you see that they're always rigid, they don't want to give in, right? Like, that's going to create a lot of issues. Understand that a man who thinks he's superior to you isn't looking for a partner, he's looking for a follower. And I do want to say, though, that obviously men are superior to women in certain aspects, and women are superior to men. And like, you handle certain things better than men, and we handle certain things better than you. This is not to kind of like what some people do. They go to the extreme and say, like, oh, we're not different, we're all equal, which I don't feel. This is not my personal belief. But I think the differences are supposed to complement you, you know, to support each other, not to be seen as a deficiency. Okay. And the last one that I want to tell you is another sneaky one, is when you notice that he has no clear goals. Okay. A man that has no direction in his life is going to waste your time, right? If he doesn't know where he's going, how can he know who he's going to bring with him? Okay. Listen to that again. If he doesn't know where he's going, how is he going to know who he's going to bring with him? So always pay attention to how he works towards his goals. You have to learn to kind of see how driven they are by their purpose. And sometimes this doesn't mean, again, going back to the high value men, low value partner, but at least when you see that they're clear about what they want for themselves, there might be a chance that if you're the right woman for them, they're going to bring you on board. But when you see that he wakes up at 10 a.m. playing video games all day, is just working on some job, he has no perspective, and sometimes he can even be like, he sells cars, so he wants to be the best, you know, salesperson in his company, and he wants to build a nice house with a nice garden and have kids. So you see that he's very clear with his goals. All right, so those are the 10 red flags. Now, I want as an actionable step, I want to see what's the number 1 red flag that you usually ignore in your relationships.
Where would narcissism be as your red flag?
You know, the thing with narcissistic behavior is kind of like so overused right now that I feel even some of those red flags are part of narcissistic behavior, but I try to stay away from talking about narcissistic personality disorder, because it's really, NPD is something that most of the guys that you're dealing with, they're not NPDs. They just have certain narcissistic traits like a lot of us do. I try to steer away from using that term narcissistic. I really want you to focus on the specific behavior more than putting a label on it. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you as always.
All right, ladies, so that's the video for today. I hope that you enjoyed this new format where I'm just making a presentation, because I know that a lot of you are visual learners, so I wanted to try something new. Anyways, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm glad that you've chosen me to learn about self-love, dating, and relationship dynamics, because like I always say, for your relationships to change, you need to change, okay? Have a beautiful day.